Howdy Goons. So one of the most annoying things about games is that there's just some places that you're not supposed to play them. Like, you get in trouble for playing them, like, at your aunt's funeral. It sounds bad. This was a great aunt. I don't know her at all. Anyway, you might think that the toilet, the loo, the john, or the porcelain throne might be a bad place to get some gaming done, but I'm trying to get into the top 1% on retro achievements, and I can't do that and take breaks from gaming. It's just not how it works. Does it really matter if I play on the toilet anyway? Everyone else uses their phone on the toilet. How is gaming any different? I wash my hands, I sanitize my handheld, no problem. You probably don't even sanitize your phone. I know some of y'all don't even wash your hands. I listen for the sink. I'm sorry, I got very defensive over that for no reason. Anyway, here's some games that you can play not only while you poop, but master them on retro achievements if you have the skill to do so. If you're not familiar with retro achievements, it's a site where you can play ROMs on emulators and you get achievements for, playing them, like you do with modern games. So let's start with the first game, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games. This is probably the first one that came to your mind too. What defines a portable game system is more than just being portable. A game needs to be designed around being mobile. It needs to be able to be put down at a moment's notice. So games that use save points aren't a great option for mobile, even more so when you're dropping the kids off at the pool. So a portable game needs to be able to pause at any time, be short, save whenever you want, or even features autosaves, and WarioWare checks all of those boxes. In WarioWare, you play through a gauntlet of mini games called micro games. Yes, micro games. I finally found something smaller than mini. Each of the micro games is less than 5 seconds and involves you achieving one singular short goal. Then you're immediately pushed on to the next game, until you get to a boss round where you play a longer mini game. You only have 4 lives to beat the gauntlet. Once you do, you unlock the endless version. Then you only have 4 lives to get as far as you can. In endless, every so often the speed of the game will increase. Every time you beat the boss, the difficulty goes up too. So you may be having Wario jumping a hot dog on the early rounds, but then you get to the high rounds, and you may have to dodge oncoming vehicles by just letting them jump over you. The game plays with your expectations and subverts them through not only adaptive gameplay, but through its sense of humor. The game loves to mix in hyper-realism, gross, and beautiful imagery all at once. Sometimes it really throws you off, and all you can do is laugh as you lose. There's a ton of variety in the games too, with each character offering dozens of games and a boss of their own. Upon completion of their gauntlet, you also unlock new mini-games like the jump rope game. All you do is you jump, and the speed increases every 10 until you beat the high score, then it starts randomly changing the speed on you. WarioWare is a great game in general for any amount of time in the day. The best part is that the game expands when you beat it, giving you more to do. In terms of retro achievements, it has a very high mastery count with over 900 completions in the community. Its rarest achievement is only a 12% unlock rate, which is very high. The achievements are creative. A lot of retro achievements usually settle with just doing a 100% run of the game, but this set has you actually mastering the game to unlock everything. Some players have said that getting 100% is too time consuming. Best to play it in small doses. Kirby, Nightmare in Dreamland. Kirby games in general are pretty good about keeping stages plentiful but short. Nightmare in Dreamland is even more so good about this. The entire game can be beaten in under 4 hours and in your first try. Kirby games are just really easy, and this one is too. It's also very bright, colorful, and has some creative liberties taken with the graphics. This is a remake of the original, and it adds a lot of its own stuff too. So this is a great entry for getting started in the Kirby series. The original version is cute, and it does have its charm, but this one is broken down into levels. It has breaks in between stages, and it autosaves between levels, having, a lot of quality of life features. Once you beat a stage, you can even revisit it. The DNA of Kirby's Adventure is still very much there, but it's updated with newer graphics and mechanics. I won't say better, because these are both cute in their own ways. Most important for the toilet gamers is that Kirby's controls are incredibly simple, intuitive, and unforgettable. You will play Kirby once and never forget how it plays. This makes it great for bite-sized or rare tiny gameplay windows. You'll never have to start the game over from the beginning because you forgot how to play. Even more so because the stages are less than 5 minutes long, so you can finish 3 or more stages in a single two-ski. As for the achievements, they also respect the bite-sized gameplay. The hardest achievements are beating the game in under an hour and beating Boss Rush without any copy abilities, and another for Boss Rush in under 8 minutes. Both the achievements and the game understand what it means to be a truly portable game. Short run lengths that allow you to quit without much weight. Pretty much any Kirby works here, but this is the best one for this specific genre of toilet game. Game & Watch Gallery 4. Game & Watch games were the original toilet games. These are small calculator-like games like Tiger Electronics and run on high score-based gameplay like arcades. So the runs are very short, but getting a Game & Watch today is very expensive, and you're looking at upwards of $80 for just one game. That's more disgusting than what you'll be doing while playing. Thankfully, Nintendo made the Game Boy Gallery and Game & Watch Gallery games. These are GBC and GBA games that are modernish remakes of classic Game & Watch games. Each entry remakes 5 games while also remastering the originals. Then the later entries have many more remakes and remasters in them that you can unlock based on your performance. In 2 through 4, you earn stars based on score, 200 points per star, maxing at 1,000 per game. You can earn 5 stars for each difficulty, and then 1 more for the retro and modern versions. So about 20 stars a game. When you reach milestones, you unlock fun facts, images, and new games to play. So you get more game the more you play. It's an incredible value. In the retro or classic versions, the games are just pixel remasters of the originals. They play just like the calculator games. The modern versions are full remakes using Mario characters as sprites. Some even change how the game is played entirely. The modern versions are pretty fun and some of my favorite games in general, not just Game & Watch games. In the Game Boy games, they're of course black and white, then color for the GBC ones, then finally creepy hyper-realism in the GBA version. The 4th entry, the one on the GBA, has the most games, and it's perfectly fine, other than its starting games are a little harder than the others. If you don't like the original Donkey Kong, you're not gonna like 4. But these are games that are great for short windows for multiple reasons. Each game can be as short as a couple minutes to 15 depending on how good you are. There's a noticeable skill progression when you get better at the game. Then these games incorporated a sleep function, so even if you play on original hardware, you can sleep the game and come back to it later. Super respectful of small gameplay windows, which makes sense when you remember that these were made for people riding the bus. For achievements, this one is actually pretty hard to get all the achievements on. The first achievement is a 98% unlock rate, the second 30%, then the third is 16%. That's a massive drop off for each achievement. This means that most people drop off this game pretty quick, and it's probably because they get bored because it's Game & Watch games, and it's certainly not for everybody. But that's also because the majority of the achievements are getting max scores in games, which aren't so much hard as they are time consuming. Zoo, with an extra O. Name a better genre game to play while visiting Browntown than puzzle games. I'll wait. Yeah, that's what I thought. You can't name a better genre, can you? Zoo is a match 3 puzzler that's pretty dang good. It's also kind of a hidden gem. On all of the ROM sets I've ever checked out, I have never seen this game included on it. Then I saw someone playing it last year, and I felt like a new GBA game just dropped. Zoo is incredibly shrimple. You have to make matches of 3 or more by swapping 2 adjacent pieces like Bejeweled or Puzzle Quest. Once you meet the capture quota for all the animals on a stage, you level up. While matching, you'll discover special panels that you'll click, and it'll capture all of the animals of a randomly selected tile. You can also get binoculars which show you the possible matches. Then you lose when the timer bar at the bottom of the screen depletes. Since there's a timer, you can guarantee that runs never take too long. It has multiple game modes like Normal Mode, Quest where you fulfill 8 requests, Score Attack where you try to get 200,000 points as fast as possible, Time Attack is trying to get the highest score possible in 6 minutes, and Tokoton where you get level ups every 100 animals caught. Despite having a timer, this is one of the more relaxing puzzlers due to having a much larger board which makes finding matches a lot easier. And the sprites for the animals are very well done and very different, making it very easy to play for even my colorblind goons out there. I would say that this is probably harder to play on original hardware due to how small the sprites are and the screens being much smaller on original hardware. Surprisingly for this game, it's also technically impressive as it features lots of animals displayed in that pseudo 3D that we love from GBA games like Golden Sun and Good Boy Galaxy. For retro games, it's pretty standard but expects a pretty good understanding of the game. You'll be playing every mode on every difficulty and getting high scores in each. With how fun Zoo is, you may find yourself playing it all the time rather than just when you're logging. It probably won't take you too long. Those who do master it do so in about 5 hours. If you eat a lot of red meat, you can probably get that done in one sitting. Puyo Pop GBA. This last one is another puzzler, but if you've never played Puyo Pop, don't write it off yet. Puyo is a challenging sort of puzzler that looks like just another match 3 puzzler, but you actually match 4. Kidding, that's not what makes it special. You actually just have way more control in how it plays. Rather than going for quick frequent matches and relying on luck like you might in something in Zoo, you're instead setting up chains and combos yourself. I'm genuinely pretty terrible at it, but basically, you're setting them up in a way that when you complete a single match, the rest will sort of cascade and fall into each other into a series of chained matches, resulting in a big combo giving you more score. Unlike most puzzlers, it's meant to be played against another player, so the challenge is making chains and setting them off faster than your opponent. As you do, you'll send junk Puyo over to the opponent's board, making it harder for them to make matches. You lose when Puyo reach the top, just like Tetris. If this game looks familiar to you, it's probably because of Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. Sega thought that Puyo Pop's IP wasn't going to be interesting enough to Western audiences, so they repackaged it in Sonic branding and brought it over as Mean Bean Machine. This sort of thing actually happened a lot back then. Nintendo did it with Tetris Attack and Pokemon. Now though, Puyo is its own thing, even in the West, and has gotten pretty big here thanks to games like Puyo Puyo Tetris. Puyo has a few game modes to keep you interested, and the achievements will have you playing all of them, like Endless, Single, and Trial Labyrinth. There are other modes like Double and Everybody Puyo Pop, but those are multiplayer only and don't have achievements tied to them, thankfully. Single is your story mode, Endless is non-stop Puyo action, and Trial Labyrinth is a bonus mode that I can't unlock because I suck at the game. You have to beat all the single stages plus some bonus boss characters while having a specific item. Mastery on average takes about 8 hours. If you're good at Puyo, you'll probably have no problem. I'd look up some basic chaining tip videos if you're a first timer though, because even the first stage has an opponent that'll bury you if you suck. If you like this one, you should check out Puyo Puyo Tetris on Switch. It's jam-packed full of fun modes, as well as modes that mix Tetris and Puyo gameplay. You can even 1v1 a friend while they play Tetris and you play regular Puyo. It works way better than you think it would. It's really a joyful game to play. And that's it. Despite the GBA being full of short games, it was hard to find ones that were short and still had reasonable times to get all the retro achievements on. Let me know what your favorite pooping games are in the comments. Just go ahead and plop them on down in the comments. Check out the Discord in the description and consider becoming a member for a special role and secret chat. Thanks for watching, and thanks to the members on YouTube like Linky, Willie Pete, AstroPixieYT, and Dragon Fanatic. I'll see y'all later. That globe isn't going to dominate itself. I may rule from a porcelain throne, but I rule with an iron paw. Bye.